Welcome once again, everybody. This is me. It's Rob, hashtag the real Bobby Munson, coming at you with the latest edition of Rob's Rockin' Wrestling. And before I get started here on the show today, folks, I wanted to just make a quick mention that I haven't done one of these in a little while. So I apologize for that. Just things kind of got a little bit busy there. A lot of that I was working on the sidelines and everything. So that's the reason for my absence from posting any new material at the moment. So I apologize for that, but I wanted to get back into things here, get right down to the nitty gritty. Lots has been going on, and I honestly feel like WWE has been building up to something great lately. The shows have been a lot better in many, many ways lately, and I am almost ashamed of myself for not getting to doing one of these last week, especially when Raw and SmackDown were so hot last week. This week, maybe not quite as strong shows as they were last week. I'm not saying that they were bad, though, either. I mean, they were great continuations of what was already going on. So they, that kind of storyline continuity and everything like that, these kinds of builds, everything that's been happening, we've been complaining about a lot of things for a long time, especially about, the booking and long-term booking and stuff like that. But I almost feel like some people are missing the big picture, and that is when it comes to long-term booking, the term is long-term, and a lot of these faces we've been seeing haven't been with the company for a long time or anything like that. I mean, we can sit there and argue, oh, well, this guy spent so many years in NXT developing, but again, we got to treat that as developmental. Back in the day, we didn't, we weren't as we weren't as in tune with, say, what was going on in like OVW or FCW or anything like that. So we didn't really have that as to who's going to be the next person brought up to the main roster, how were they going to be used, what were they going to look like. We didn't have that inside scoop, and I think that ruins a lot of things for a lot of us, because once they get there, it doesn't have the same kind of magic and excitement that we expect it's going to have. And then we don't realize that half the audience that doesn't necessarily maybe watch NXT isn't quite adapted to these new characters, so they got to have time to develop themselves. Yes, some of the booking, yes, I'll agree with you guys, is frustrating at times, but a long-term game plan, it seems to be working out, and I think we're on the cusp of it. It's getting there, and we're just starting to see these stars come to rise, and these storylines start to develop. And the reason they can develop is because there has been enough done to make it happen, kind of thing. So that being said, I'm going to turn things over to what happened on Monday Night Raw. So we started the night off with Jason Jordan taking on Roman Reigns here. So I'm just trying to remember. Last week, we know Jason Jordan took on John Cena in a match, and out came Roman Reigns to basically tear down Cena by saying that it took him 20 minutes to beat a rookie. But I mean, when you break it down, Jason Jordan by no means is an actual rookie. He's just a rookie based on his time on the main roster, more than anything. So Cena and Reigns having a fantastic feud here so far. A lot of people saying, oh, Cena's doing a lot of burying. I think Cena is forcing Roman to have to dig deeper. And a couple times Roman's had some really good moments and stuff like that throughout this whole thing. So it's easy to sit there and say, oh, Cena's, burying him. No, you can't bury Roman at this point, folks. I mean, he's far beyond that point. What Cena's doing is helping bring out maybe the best in Roman in terms of his skills on a microphone. Is he on the same level as Cena? Hell no. Not even close. But Cena is helping to try to get that out of him, because before guys like Cena can, walk off into the distance and stuff like that, they care enough about this company that they want to see the top guys at their A game. And if Roman Reigns is going to be that guy, then Cena's got to show him the ropes. He's got to let him know, like, if you want to be me, you've got to do these things. You've got to do this. You got to do that. There's a lot of work ahead of you, big dog. But needless to say, it's working so far. And for once, we're getting a matchup between two, top superstars that not only is coming up soon, this is a WrestleMania caliber match again on a side pay-per-view, No Mercy, but the interest in No Mercy is going to be there now. So we've got that to look forward to. It's hard to call this match. I honestly want to believe that Roman Reigns is probably going to pick up the win. I know many of you are probably going to argue, but or will you? I mean, this could be a very divided matchup in many ways. So, yes, I feel Reigns is going to take this one. I think Cena will win in a return match, and then ultimately Reigns will take a third match somewhere down the road, their rubber match, to win the feud overall. I think Cena is not afraid to put a guy over that's going to be top guy in the company and stuff like that. So, therefore, I think that's the way it's going to go. We had Emma versus Sasha. Nothing really big and noteworthy there, so I'm not going to waste a lot of time on it. I kind of want to move on to Braun Strowman. And, man, this guy makes 3 hours feel like half an hour because I just want to keep watching him. They have done such an amazing job building up Braun Strowman, but also credit to Braun Strowman for not just saying, "Oh, you've pushed me to the top, and I'm going to stick to, my two moves, and that's about it." Like a lot of big guys tend to do. They get pushed to the top because of their physical size, but they don't push their body, push the limits to try to, escalate it and give us something to invest in, be interested in. And we're in an age where big men are, they're few and far between in wrestling. Back when I was watching wrestling as a kid, I mean, it was more uncommon to see one of these small, fast, quick-moving guys and stuff like that. And, now they're a dime a dozen at this point. And no offense to anybody who is a smaller, quick, fast guy in the ring or anything like that. But, the age of big guys has really gone by the wayside. So you get a guy like Braun Strowman in, and how do you push him to the limit? Make him that guy that people aren't just going to hate because of the fact that it's like, oh, he's big and he wins because small guys can't beat big guys, No, Braun Strowman, he puts on a show. So, he earlier in the night on Raw, he takes out Lesnar again. One of the few guys who can make Lesnar look like he's afraid of something. Like, Lesnar has always been built up as this, I'm afraid of nobody, I'm afraid of nothing. But Lesnar's never really fought a true monster, especially a monster that's on his A game right now. A guy who, can get hit by, or get in an ambulance accident and walk away bleeding from the face and still looking for his opponent afterwards. I mean, I know it's all in kayfabe and everything like that, but I mean, it's just been fantastic television this year. And Braun Strowman is the anti-hero that we've all wanted for a long time. I mean, they've tried to make other characters into anti-heroes, but it never felt genuine. And here comes Braun Strowman. He's supposed to be this horrible monster of a man that we're supposed to hate, and they put him against guys that we're not going to hate him for hurting. I mean, honestly, I don't think there's too many fans out there that are going to cry a river when Braun Strowman beats up Brock Lesnar. I don't think there's a lot of fans that are going to be upset when he beats up Roman Reigns. And then you go put him in a match with John Cena on Monday Night Raw. I mean, again, I don't think the fans are going to go home crying if Cena gets hurt in this match. Quite plain and simple. Braun Strowman loses the match, but in doing so, he did so by disqualification. He brought the chairs into the ring. Should have probably been disqualified on the outside when he hit Cena with the stairs or whatever, but then he brings the stairs into the ring, does his running power slam on Cena, and stands tall. I mean, this was Strowman's night overall, from start to finish. Other things to note, there was a 8-man tag match between there's Sheamus and Cesaro teaming up with the Good Brothers, Anderson and Gallows. They took on the tag champs, Dean and Seth, as they searched for tag team partners, ended up finding the Hardys. I mean, it was kind of predictable that the Hardy Boys were going to be the ones they found and everything, but again, nothing wrong with that. We also, a Miz TV segment with Enzo Amore. Enzo, great on a microphone. Watched his work over on 205 Live recently. It can work. I mean, I know there's a lot of people going, oh, he doesn't belong with these guys. These guys put in all this hard work, and Enzo's not near the caliber they are. You're not wrong. You're not wrong at all. Enzo's not the same worker as anybody in the cruiserweight division right now at all, period. Where he does have pretty much all of them just about completely defeated in that he can work a microphone like nobody's business. But then again, he can do that. He can work that microphone better than most of the guys on the main roster in general, not just on 205 Live. But this is what it comes down to: is Enzo's a draw. Enzo is a draw on 205 Live. I mean, all you have to do is go and look at his YouTube videos from 205 Live. As soon as he debuted on 205 Live, they had more views per video with it featuring Enzo Amore than they have the entire time 205 Live's been running. So I mean, from a stance of the WWE, it's a good booking decision. I mean, you've got a roster there that people aren't investing in. I know there's a slew of reasons. I know we could sit here and go, they're not allowed to work the kind of matches they should be able to work, and people aren't interested because there's no development, none of this, none of that. They're not pushing the right guys. We can argue it all we want, folks, but what it comes down to is Enzo fits the mold. He's the right guy for it. He works a microphone well, and he's going to maybe draw in some additional viewership that wasn't existing there for allowing 205 to exist. Because imagine if 205 goes away because we don't care for the way they're booking it and stuff like that. Well, we can say goodbye to a lot of the people we do care about in that division. Because if you think for a second that WWE is going to find room for, your TJ Perkins, your Cedric Alexander's, your Noam Dars and stuff like that, I think you're barking up the wrong tree. I mean, yeah, sure, maybe some of them will go to NXT and I'll have a chance to develop a little bit of a character and everything like that. But I honestly, with the way that things have been lately, I could see the WWE dropping 205 Live and dropping most of the contracts involved with 205 Live at the exact same time. Heading on over to SmackDown now. SmackDown last week, I mean, it was completely on fire. This whole developing story between Kevin Owens and Shane McMahon has been off the hook. So we get the night started. Kevin Owens comes out and he's running his mouth, talking about how he's changing things to the Kevin Owens show, the difference he's going to make, like firing Sami Zayn, canceling the Fashion Files. Great heel work by Kevin Owens. He then calls out Vince McMahon, but Daniel Bryan comes out saying Vince isn't there yet, but that Kevin Owens isn't going to like when he gets there. So moving on, we had the United States Championship match between AJ Styles and Ty Dillinger. A little bit of interference from Baron Corbin there. Not that it lasted. AJ pretty much took him out. The only real downfall I have with the finish to this match is, Ty was almost there, but it took a distraction by Baron Corbin with AJ Styles to get there, and he still doesn't manage to come up with the win, which I knew would be the case. But then he sits there for a elongated period of time, and even the commentators brought it up. Keep your foot on the gas. You would think a guy that was, a fraction of a second away from becoming the new United States champion and beating AJ Styles clean in the ring would want to capitalize on that opportunity, not just sit there and cry about it. So therefore, it takes moments before AJ rolls Ty into the calf crusher and the match is over. I just feel like maybe there should have been a little bit more aggression from Ty when he realized that he was that close. Not saying that I think Ty should have won the match. I think that there just should have been a stronger build to that exact finish. Ty trying to get the better of AJ, and then AJ manages to roll him into that calf crusher, because we know AJ can do it. He can make it look legit. We didn't need it to be where AJ has a 3.5 minute breather in between so that he's got time to think about it. Again, you can sit there and say, well, Ty's a rookie, but again, he's not really a rookie. He's been there a long time. These are mistakes that first, second year rookie should be making, not somebody who's got over 10 years of experience. And then, again, that's not Ty's fault. It comes down to booking, so they need to decide a little better on that. I normally like to say don't hinder gender, but if we're going to get promos like we did on SmackDown this evening, come on. I don't know. I just think that this has gone a little too far, and it's not too far in the sense that I don't like the segment or I'm offended by the segment. I just thought it's so childish. I mean, doing this whole laughing at pictures of Nakamura's face and stuff like that, and talking about, I don't know. Like, honestly, I thought the second half of the promo was better than the first half. The first half with the Singh brothers with the ridiculous over the top laughter and rolling around like idiots. Like, it's not funny. It's not entertaining. It's stupid, and it makes the whole segment look stupid. It makes Mahal look stupid. And he shouldn't look stupid. I mean, he's been a solid champion so far. So, when it comes down to it, the second half I say is better because when he starts talking about, hey, Nakamura, you don't want to hold this title because when you do, these people, they'll chant USA. They're going to boo you. They're going to, that right there was strong promo work and it made sense. It perfect. A lot of the times, I shouldn't even say a lot of the times, I'd say almost all the time, the American audience has that bad tendency to chant USA chants when they, have a non-American heel character in the ring, not realizing that in doing so, probably also, saying F you to, guys like Nakamura and to Sami Zayn and guys like that are baby faces from other countries and everything like that. You don't hear them break into a Canada chant when Sami Zayn's in the ring or a Japan chant when Nakamura's in the ring. So again, the way that Jinder used the end of that promo to let him know, like, you don't want this title, it makes the focus on you, and when the focus is on you, they hate you. It almost reminiscent of the speech that is given in the very first Spider-Man film when Willem Dafoe talks to Spider-Man and tells him about how the people, they want you to climb this mountain, to get really high because they want to watch you fall. Like, that is very reminiscent of that exact speech, and I loved it. That was good. Unfortunately, it was muddled by all the bullshit that came before it, and that was just no fun. On next, Sin City Street fight for the WWE Tag Team Championships over on SmackDown. The Usos versus the New Day. This match nowhere near the caliber of greatness that their match at SummerSlam was. So not amazing, but not terrible. I mean, it was actually a really good match. I enjoyed it myself. But I feel the ending was what ruined it for me. I know, like, the New Day is this marketing machine and everything like that, but the Usos, I mean, they have just been on fire with what they're doing lately, and I think that taking those titles off of them again so soon really isn't the right move. Personally, I don't think. I don't know. Again, wait to be seen what where it goes and stuff like that. But I honestly think that New Day, has it run its course? I often question that and think, is it time for maybe a change in the New Day? Or, it doesn't even need to be the New Day splitting, but it always seems to be the New Day tag titles, New Day tag titles, New Day tag titles. I wouldn't mind seeing some of the members of the New Day get involved in some singles competition and really maybe start to go on a roll. You imagine Big E starting to take on singles competition out of interest of wanting to see what he can do as a singles competitor, and next thing you know, Big E's winning matches, and then he gets his opportunity to fight in the main event and stuff like that. I mean, the guy is capable of being a main event player. So so are Kofi and Xavier. But I know with Vince's obsession with bigger guys, I mean, Big E is the perfect opportunity for them to push one of them as a single star. And again, they don't need to split the team up necessarily. There's no reason why they can't have someone running for a singles title within the New Day, while the other two backing them up, and then they can keep the tag title fiasco going at the same time. So, anyways, New Day, new tag champs, nothing wrong with it, nothing great about it either. Naomi taking on Natalya for the SmackDown Women's Champion, and Natalya looking solid as usual. I like how she's winning these matches and kind of staring Carmella down, almost like she's daring her to cash that money in the bank and like, come on, do it. I dare you. I'm on fire right now. Why don't you cash it in right now and see how lucky you can try to get? And that is perfect. It gives Natalya this edge, like, I am so damn good, and I know I'm so damn good right now that I dare you to take me on after I've already had a match, because I'm so good I'm going to make your ass tap out too. And I love that about Natalya. Very deserving. Natalya, one of the greatest women in wrestling, period. I don't care what anybody says. She is excellent, and I'm going to back that up. Big fan of the Hart family. Big fan of Natalya. So great to see her as the champion. Dolph Ziggler coming out doing his thing again this week. Maybe not as great as last week. I think we were expecting that this is going to lead to a feud. There was rumor that this was going to lead to something with Bobby Roode. Didn't really get an appearance from Bobby Roode out of it, so where does it go? I'm not sure. We'll find out. Chad Gable, Shelton Benjamin took on the Hype Bros. Another win for Chad Gable, Shelton Benjamin. Good match. Zack Ryder not looking to shake any hands afterwards. So the big talking point, Vince McMahon to come out and confront Kevin Owens, and confront him he did. He told Kevin Owens that he only suspended Shane because Shane didn't finish the job, and that he should have stomped Kevin Owens down further. So, showing a little bit more of the edgier Vince McMahon that we expect to see, which is good. So, yes, he says that there will be no lawsuits, and if there is, then he'll be hearing the words, Kevin Owens, you're fired. So, Vince laying down the law and saying that Kevin Owens is going to have his chance to take on Shane McMahon inside Hell in a Cell at the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view. So that was the big news. But it wasn't over there because Kevin Owens attacking Vince McMahon. Yes, flat out attacking him. Headbutt, which seemed to open him up. I didn't see any blading done either, which was kind of surprising. So, Vince getting cut upon a headbutt from Kevin Owens, and then a continued attack that they even brought out Stephanie from the back, who was there because of the Mae Young Classic coming up shortly after. So he gave it a little bit more of a realistic feel when Stephanie comes out to check on her father, because, normally being that she's this, heel persona when she is on screen and stuff like that, for her to show that level of empathy towards her father, makes this feel more authentic, and it really makes Kevin Owens look like a total dickhead, but that's what they're going for. I mean dickhead in the most sincerest of ways if Kevin Owens ever listens to this, which I know he won't, but just in case he is, just to let you know, I mean dickhead in the most sincerest way, because that's what you're trying to portray, that's what you're portraying, and you're doing it well. So that's a compliment to you, sir. So, anyways, that basically summarizes SmackDown and Raw for this week. But the next thing I wanted to talk to you guys about is the Mae Young Classic, which wrapped itself up last night with the finals. Final match being contested between Shayna Baszler and Kairi Sane. Yes, so those were your two finalists. Kairi Sane being there seemed very predictable from even before the tournament started. I don't mean that to be a jerk, but it was with all the hype that WWE was heaping upon Kairi Sane, it just felt like, this is who they want to win this tournament. And so she did. And unfortunately, I don't know that Kairi Sane winning was the best option. Sure, in terms of the fact that she's putting in her time overseas and stuff like that, wonderful. I think the only reason they did it is because it's the only way to legitimize her. So many people are so excited about Kairi Sane and how amazing she is in the ring and this elbow drop. I'm sorry to tell you folks, but outside of that elbow drop, I didn't see a whole lot there that I was that impressed with yet. Not to say she is a bad wrestler, because she's far from it. She is good, but I just don't get the hype. I think there was too much overhype for her in particular, and that's where I think she lost me. In terms of standouts from the show itself, obviously Toni Storm did an excellent job. Piper Niven, I thought Piper, especially in her final match there, gave excellent performance. So, definitely was a standout, someone that we're going to remember from the tournament. As well as, Abby Lath, who did a really good job as well, too. And then all the other ladies, too, as well. There was a lot of excellent competition. Bianca Belair was probably one of my biggest surprises from the tournament itself. When she took on Kairi Sane, it was nothing less than incredible. I thought that she was excellent in that particular match, and she's a standout. Using that hair as a whip, I thought was very, very intelligent use of something that kind of comes across as a weapon, but it's not. It's your body, so therefore it can't be construed as a weapon in that case. So, yeah, very unique individual, and I hope that we'll be seeing more of her in the WWE. Shayna Baszler, obviously, we're going to be seeing a lot more of her, which is excellent. I think that she's really come along, really developed well. I don't know if the ribs inside the match of the final there against Kairi Sane was legitimate, or if she was selling it. If she was selling it, great job of selling the injured ribs, because I mean that's something tough to pull off. So, overall, I was impressed with the tournament. A little bit too predictable on who was going to win, but the tournament itself, excellent job, history making. All the stuff it was supposed to be, introduced us to a lot of new women, all of which I hope are given their opportunities to stick around. WWE, in particular NXT, I think now that Asuka is getting called up to the main roster, they're really going to need an influx of strong women competitors coming into NXT. I think this tournament did a great job of introducing that, getting us prepared for it, and getting the entire WWE universe prepared as well too. So, excellent job to all those involved, and thank you once again to WWE, to Triple H, and to all the crew that put this on. Thank you very much for putting this on for us. It's an added bonus for us as fans, something that we get in addition to the regular content on the WWE network. So I mean, I can only applaud them for doing that for us. So that is going to be it for me this week, folks. I'm going to sign out now. Hope you enjoyed this latest edition of Rob's Rockin' Wrestling, and if you want, I really highly recommend you check me out on social media. Check out @VaporRob on Twitter. It's where I do a lot of my posting for anything to do with WWE or wrestling in general and stuff like that. Definitely give me a subscribe down below. Really helps me out if you give me a subscribe there, so I appreciate you doing that. And aside from that, hope you guys enjoy the rest of your week, and we'll see you next week.